Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your favorite Fat Boy Ray Ray coming at you with another Fat Boy Takes. I know I haven't been potting, but your boy hasn't had shit to talk about. And now that the NBA is basically back, I finally got something to talk about. Also, I have a special guest with me, a returning guest.
This is Gabe Perez, physical therapist.
Dr. Gabe, a.k.a. Big Daddy Gabe.
Yeah.
Also, I have another guest too, his dog. He's chilling with us in the office.
Young Keto.
Young Keto. So you might hear some barks or some chewing. Just know it's big boy Keto chilling in the back. On today's pod, we're going to talk about some of the injuries that are probably going to go down with the NBA restart. We're also going to give our predictions for the two opening day games. Which is, I think, Lakers Clippers is one, and then the Friday game, the C's Bucks, and we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about some of the games the scrimmages I've seen, and we're also gonna talk about why you need to wear a mask. Because COVID's fucking real, and some of you guys think it's a fucking joke or it's fake. That shit ain't fucking fake, and yeah. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get into the pod. We're going to talk about some of the injuries that are probably going to go down in the bubble, and some of the injuries that already have went down in the bubble. For one, the first injury we're going to talk about is, yes, it was in the bubble. Rondo broke his, finger in the bubble? Which is kind of weird. How do you break your thumb on your day off? Kind of like some Friday shit, like Craig getting fired on his day off. Rondo literally broke his finger on his day off. Kind of weird, but it went down. So what do you think? What's up with that? What do you think just happened to this dude?
I mean, he was probably practicing or doing something. I mean, it's real easy to break your thumb if you fall on it. You twist something. I mean, a lot of people break their finger just randomly. It's not that uncommon. He's got huge hands.
That is true. He does have huge hands.
So, and he's just awkward. So, it'd be easy for him to accidentally slang that hand and, break it.
Slang that hand and break it. Because he's fucking awkward. Okay. I got it. I wouldn't know what it is that I got. My hands are a decent size, but this dude got monster hands. So I can see kind of like that Stephon Diggs commercial, that he's putting his hands on everything and everything's sticking to it. Maybe it's like that. I don't know what it's like to have huge hands.
So your boy Ray Ray ain't slanging.
Yeah, I ain't slanging my hands everywhere and breaking fingers and shit. So you just think it was just random,
it probably a fluke accident, because I doubt Rondo would be the type to get out of shape and
it's crazy because man, he was looking yoked. He was looking ready. Playoff Rondo was coming, boys. If you're a Laker fan, I don't know if you've ever seen Playoff Rondo. Just go look at Playoff Rondo.
Well, as a side note, we got Caruso. He's hurt a little bit too, but
What happened to Caruso? The Caruso.
I think he spread his back spasm, so he had to sit out for the.
He has back spasms. That sucks.
Yeah.
I heard that hurts. Well, I've had back spasms. Yeah, it's not a good time. It hurts really, really bad. I didn't know he was injured. To be honest.
Well, I don't think it's serious. I think he just sat out the game that they were playing the other night.
Okay, and then another injury that I don't know if this went down in the bubble. Yeah, it went down in the bubble because he left. Sabonis has a foot injury. Yeah,
I couldn't read anything specific, but it just said he had a foot injury. But that's a pretty big deal if depending on if he had to leave or not. If they couldn't treat it there.
He had to leave. He's leaving the bubble to seek help.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about injuries, what kind of injuries do you think are going to start going down in the bubble? Once the NBA restarts, what do you think are going to be a lot of the injuries that start going down?
I think a lot of the problem is, you had these guys that were, when the season ended in March, they were in top condition, and then all of a sudden they went to doing nothing. So unless you were really keeping focused and training on your own, you'll be okay. But it's a lot of these dudes that didn't know what was going to happen, or they assumed the season was going to end. And, they just stopped keeping in shape. So those guys are probably going to be the ones that you see most of the injuries with, whether it's tendonitis, spasming of muscles, going from nothing to starting a full NBA season and potentially playoffs is going to be a big deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. So a couple of these dudes were keeping up with their health though.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like those dudes, what kind of injuries do you think you'll see from like the dudes that are like in top physical shape? Like,
I think you would see just your general injuries that you would see normally in an NBA season. Contact injuries, things like that. I mean, bruises, just getting banged up. The normal stuff. But it's the weird injuries like those tendinitises and muscle pulls that kind of come out of nowhere, non-contact injuries. Those are the things that you're going to see, like hamstring pulls.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times what will happen is you'll see hamstring and back spasms because they're not using their hip muscles enough. And it's real easy to rely on your hamstrings and your back to compensate for your hips from being weak.
Okay.
So a lot of times people, because it's a redundancy. So your hips and your back can do some things that your glutes do. But a lot of people have weak glutes because they don't train them or they're not using them correctly. So if you're like an athlete and you want to go sprint, you should be using your glutes. But if you take off using your hamstring, then you're going to see a pulled hamstring because it's not meant to do that.
Okay.
And that's why you see it a lot in football players because they go from the play starts and then they take off going 100 miles an hour and then all of a sudden the hamstring pull and again it's not that they can't use their glutes, it's just sometimes they're not in shape to do it, and so that's why they got to keep up with it and making sure that they're using the right muscle at the right time.
Dude, that's great. Dude, I just learned something new. That is just badass. Look at that. Your boy learned something new on the pod today. Thank you, Dr. Gabe. I had no idea that's how you get a messed up hamstring. That's how you know.
Well, and again, if any of you guys work in a like warehouse or construction or any kind of manual labor job, if you're not using your butt muscles, you're going to use your back and your hamstrings, and you could get away with it when you're 20, but when you're doing this stuff for like 20, 30 years, that's when you end up in my office being seen for back pain.
You guys listen to that? Pro tip. Use your butt muscles. As fucking corny as that shit sounds and silly, use your butt muscles.
Yeah, everybody's making fun of these band exercises, these TheraBand things, but those girls doing their butt exercises, you could learn something from them.
Oh my god! Okay, I got you. So another thing, do you think we're gonna see like any crazy injuries like ACL tears or anything like that?
Again, it all goes back to the hips.
Okay.
So if you're not using your hip and your butt muscles, the hip controls the knee.
Okay.
So if I'm running and I have to cut, like I'm crossing over somebody,
okay,
I'm cutting it to I have to cut laterally. If I don't have good hip control, my knee's going to collapse inward. Oof. And if somebody happens to run into me at that moment, or I jump and I land weird, you possibly could see an ACL tear, and that's usually what happens. So, it's always possible, but that could happen anytime.
Okay. Gotcha. Yo, and another thing, I have a feeling that in the bubble, eventually somebody's going to test positive. The reason I say that is because this is going to sound so shitty. These dudes are going to want to fuck eventually, and they're going to fucking invite girls to the bubble, and the girls are going to be let in the bubble. There is no way they are not going to let any females in the bubble. So eventually one of these chicks is going to bring COVID to the bubble, either a chick or whatever they're into. Somebody is going to test positive for the coronavirus. I promise it. There is no way that they don't.
Didn't Stephen A. say this?
Yeah, Stephen A. said this because, they're going to want to be smashing on chicks and shit.
I don't think they would mind staying in the bubble if you provided females.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than that, they live in a bubble in their life anyway.
That's true, but the thing is, like, they're not all trying to smash on the same females, obviously.
Tell Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes.
Oh, shit. Really? Come on, bro. True, I guess.
Derek Fisher's my boy.
That is true. That is your boy. So I think that there will be a positive test eventually. I'm just going to throw it out there because these fools are going to want to fuck. So, yes, it is going to go down. Positive test.
Well, if the NBA ran STD checks on everybody in the bubble, I'm sure the positivity rate would be higher than the COVID rate.
Jesus, I'm pretty sure that you're fucking right about that.
Check the Houston Rockets.
Oh, fuck. And another thing, how do you feel about... Oh, and by the way, everybody, baseball's back. And guess what? No one fucking cares. What do you think about... Now that we're talking about baseball the first time ever on this pod. Probably the fucking last time, wow, by the way. How do you feel about those fucking cardboard fucking things at Dodger Stadium that you pay $200 for?
Well, if you ask me, I can't tell the difference from the cardboard fans versus the regular fans.
Damn, the disrespect, bro.
I'm just kidding. But I would never pay $200 for my cardboard cutout, and just because you told me it was getting donated to charity. I don't believe that for one sec. They're losing money on Dodger dogs and all kinds of stuff.
That's like I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't think maybe $50 of that's going to charity.
If they're charging you $200, they'll probably give $10 to charity.
And then they'll keep the $190.
Yeah.
Damn. So you think this was got played?
I mean, if that's what makes you happy in putting your cardboard,
because it didn't say all proceeds go to charity, did they?
They just said I don't know what they said, but they said it was going to some foundation.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But I guess we'll find it. I guess
in reality, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I guess. Well, you'll never find out anyways what went to charity or not. That's one thing I find weird about that. So you don't really know where your money goes.
Well, I mean, you can assume if you're paying for that, just assume it went to the owner. It's all good.
Fuck. So just assume it went to the fucking owner.
At least you got to see your picture in right behind the dugout.
Yeah, I guess
that's the only time you're gonna sit back.
Oh shit. It's probably true though. Those seats are probably fucking super fucking expensive.
Yeah,
like $1,000 plus.
You
like an average Joe like me can't afford that. I know you probably can, but you know, are you dumb enough to buy those seats?
I'd rather buy a seat behind the Lakers bench.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fucking touch LeBron James' arm, fucking wipe the sweat off him and shit, or what?
Maybe they'll hire me as the PT.
Oh shit, dude!
Nah, Judy Seto, she's the boss.
Is that the one that was Kobe's?
She was Kobe's PT.
And they brought her back, right?
They brought her back because the trainer they had before, I don't know, they just had a bad injury rate. Not that it's his fault. I mean, it's more conditioning, but sometimes stuff happens. But they have to blame somebody.
Okay, so yeah, the cardboard things for the MLB. I thought that shit was pretty whack. I'm just gonna say that right now. That shit's shitty. Bad fucking idea. I'd rather see no fans than some stupid ass looking fucking cardboard figures of fucking random ass fucking
I'd rather
people.
see cardboard figures of like cartoon characters. I want to see SpongeBob in the audience.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. SpongeBob, Squidward,
yeah,
Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. That'd be
Ren and
fucking
Stimpy.
cool. That's true. I'd rather see shit like that myself than to see some fucking weird ass people in the background.
Like, I want to see your big ass head in the
like, I want big head ass motherfucker.
This ain't the club.
This ain't the club, exactly, dude. Yeah, so we think the cutouts are pretty silly. Also, you think the NFL will have a season? Because, like, right now, I guess the season's up in the air that they don't know. I know they canceled all the preseason games.
Well, you know, the football team out of Washington, I think they're gonna want a team. They want
fuck.
They're gonna want a season just because they need to take some of the heat off them.
True.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they want to have a season if everybody else is playing?
Yeah, the Washington football team. So weird. You're gonna, dude. I'm just gonna get off topic here for a little bit. You're gonna tell me that you pay the people to name your team the Washington football team. You have so many people. You paid thousands of dollars, and you all could not come up with a fucking name. You literally sat down, you fucking brainstormed, and you were like,
and it's not like this is a new thing. They've been trying to change the name for years. So why didn't they think they could have thought of a name in the past just in case?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. They were just, it's like, man, dude, I'm gonna pay thousands of fucking dollars. I'm about to hit this meeting. I'm about to brainstorm with my boys and girls, and we're finna see what we're gonna come up with. And the best thing you can come up with was the Washington football team. Are you fucking kidding me? For one, that fucking franchise is a fucking joke.
Well, you're a Cowboys fan, so...
Yeah, whatever. That's besides the point.
According to our sponsor, Pools by Chris, he should call that team... He says that they want to call that team the team that takes the most L's
in the fucking division.
Yeah.
Which is true, but...
But Alex Smith is coming back.
Yeah, he is. That's pretty cool.
A cool thing.
I'm glad, because that injury was disgusting.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's on his way back. But... I just don't understand how you pay people thousands of fucking dollars. Like, you have a marketing team. You pay, obviously, they're well compensated. You're telling me that these dudes couldn't come up with a name? Like, the Washington Warriors?
Yeah,
Washington.
Even Washington Warriors sucks, but at least it's a
it's
name.
some fucking something.
Yeah.
Just something for now. And what if fuck it, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that they just couldn't come up with a name.
I'm sure they will. It's probably temporary.
Yeah, I guess. Obviously, we already know it's going to be something patriotic. Let's just be honest. It's going to be something patriotic. Come on, just look at the other teams
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely okay. We're not saying it's bad. But we already know it's going to be something like patriotic. Like, just think about it. We got the Washington Nationals, the Washington Capitals. The only name that's, like, basically not patriotic is, like, the Washington Wizards. But I love that name, the Washington Wizards. I think that goes really, really well together. But yeah, so see, I have a feeling it will be something patriotic. That's just my take, but who knows? We'll find out, right? But yeah, that's enough of the bubble bullshit. We're gonna move on to another topic right now. All right, so now me and Big Daddy Gabe, aka Dr. Gabe, are gonna give our predictions for the Thursday games for the NBA. I'm super excited. Like the NBA's finally back. You guys don't even know. You guys know I love basketball, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are happy the NBA is back.
We all cried when the season ended.
Yeah, I literally did. Like I'm used to like seeing my boys play until like late May, early June.
Lakers in 6.
Damn. Like that. All right. So, like, for me, I'm going to just straight up say I'm picking the Jazz over the Pelicans. I'm just going to say that right now. The Jazz just have a better overall team. But I do like that the Pelicans have been grinding. Like, all their players look in top shape, especially Zion. That boy Zion looks thin. Like, he's not ever gonna be thin. Let's be honest. This guy's buff as shit.
And what about your boy Lonzo?
Lonzo actually looks good too. Yeah. All of them look like they've been keeping up with their health. I haven't got a chance to watch them play.
Isn't LaMelo gonna be? He wants to be. His dad says he's gonna be a starter when he comes in.
We don't. Let's not talk about LaMelo now, bro. I know you brought him up because of Lonzo, but fuck LaMelo Ball. We don't know what the fuck the kid is. We gotta see. He is going to get drafted this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to go top 5.
Wow.
Check it. I'm pretty sure that kid's going top 5. But back to the Pelicans Jazz game. I'm just going to go with the Jazz. I think the Jazz just have an overall better team. It depends. We'll see if Zion has a big game for his first game back or not. But I'm just going to be honest. Zion looks like a monster right now. He looks like he's lost some weight. Because the big issue with him was that he was overweight, blah blah blah. He looks good now. He's been putting in work in that quarantine. So I'm still gonna go with the Jazz though. Who are you picking?
Jazz, Pelicans. I'll probably go Pelicans only just because they've been grinding. I mean the Jazz are established. It's a good team, but you got these young guys that are hungry. So I think I still think the Pelicans have a chip on their shoulder just from all the hate went through last year and all the hate. So, and
then also I think the Pelicans also are fighting for the 8th seed in the West. I'm not this pod, but I think I'm gonna do one next week. I'm gonna explain the whole scenario of the bracket. Because I'm pretty sure there will be a play-in tournament. Because I'm pretty sure either the Pelicans or the Blazers are gonna. It was something like 4 games. If you're like 4 games behind, you're eligible for the play-in tournament. So I will...
Is it still East versus West?
It's still going to be East versus West, but I'm talking about the play-in tournament for the 8th seed of the West. Because I'm pretty sure the 8th seed in the West will be up for grabs. So I'll do my research on that to inform you guys of how that's going to work. And your boy Keto popping off right now, but like... I will do the research and explain to you guys how that play-in tournament's going to work. So now we have our predictions for the Jazz-Pelicans game. Well, how do you feel about the Clippers game, Lakers game? Who are you going to pick? What's your pick, bro?
I always got to roll with Lakers.
Oh, you even though they're going to get washed, you going to roll with them?
We got the Henny King.
Oh, man, dude. And you got the fucking edible god. The Mr. Gummy Eater Supreme.
They're gonna be on a sick one.
They're gonna be on a sick one. You're 100% correct. So Dr. Gabe's gonna pick the Lakers. I'm personally gonna pick the Clippers. And another thing, I forgot to say this. I am so glad that they did not go straight into the playoffs. The reason I say that is because I got to watch a couple of these scrimmage games. Yes, I know the team, the Stars only played limited minutes, but they look like shit. Like, the Lakers looked okay, the Clippers looked okay, the Mavs looked okay. The C's, like, everybody knows I love the C's. The C's look like shit. The Nuggets looked like shit. Like, they looked really bad. And also a lot of players look bad. They have no lift, like in their shot. You can tell right away they have no lift. They're just trying to get their legs under them. So I'm super, super happy that they're waiting 3 weeks to start the playoffs because, man, if they would have went straight into playoffs, the playoffs were going to look like it was
if
just.
If they went straight into the playoffs, we'd be talking about a lot more injuries.
That is true. We would be talking about a lot more injuries. And then another thing was, it just the game just looks bad. Like it was just this is really sloppy. So I'm happy that they are making sure that they at least gonna play for 3 weeks. So I'm picking the Clippers. Back on the subject, I'm gonna go with the Clippers, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. I just feel that the Clippers are just gonna have better teamwork that first game than the Lakers are, because the Lakers don't even know the starting lineup. And maybe they start Caruso or they start J.R. Smith. Or they start Deion Waters at guard. I don't know what the starting five is, but regardless, the Lakers are going to incorporate a new player either off the bench or a player that they just signed into the starting lineup, and I think that's going to hurt them a little bit this game just because it's going to, it's just going to be weird, it's going to mess a little bit with the team chemistry because all those, like, AB, finally came back and he was starting constantly. And that's another thing. That's a big loss. I feel like AB was like huge that last game when the Lakers played the Clippers. I think he scored 24 points. He shot the three ball very, very well that game. That was a big reason why the Lakers won that game and the defense the Lakers played. And that's one thing right there. Like, you're losing a good shooter in AB and you're losing your best on-ball defender. Nobody to harass Patrick Beverley coming up the court. I'm just going to be honest. Patrick Beverley gets to walk up the court and not worry about being full court press.
Caruso's a good defender.
Yeah, but Caruso, listen, guys.
He's the GOAT.
I'll be honest. It's like when C's fans love Taco Fall and Caruso. These two players are fan favorites. But these two players are fucking trash. I'm just got to say it. I got to say it to you Laker fans. I got to say it to you C's fans. Both of these players fucking suck. Yes, they're NBA players. Yes, they play on a pro team. I don't play on a pro team. But the eye test shows that these fools fucking suck. Okay, I just gotta throw that out there. I hate when Laker fans are like, the Caruso the GOAT. I hate when people say that shit. Because Caruso fucking sucks.
Why does he suck?
Outside of his defense, he doesn't provide anything for you.
They don't need him for shooting.
What do you mean? They're gonna need scoring.
You think Rondo is gonna shoot?
Dude, Rondo's your best 3-point shooter. He was shooting like above 40%. Rondo was having the best field goal percentage from 3 of his career on the Lakers. Just saying, facts. But yeah, I have a feeling that the Lakers are gonna lose this game just because they're incorporating either 1 or 2 players into the starting lineup.
Is this that makeup game that they missed?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is the makeup game
when Kobe passed.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the NBA was like, yo, what better time than now to cash in that makeup game? Yeah. This first game, let's do it. And I think it was a good idea to make this the first game. I'm going to just be honest because everybody's going to watch that first game. That game's going to be fucking lit.
It's a prequel to the Western Conference Final. I
believe so. I did also I'll talk about that in a little bit. But that's my take on that game. I think that I'm going to go with the Clippers just cuz overall they're going to have the better chemistry. Because the Lakers are going to incorporate 2 new players into that starting lineup. But you never know. Maybe it works out for the Lakers and they figure it out right away. And also, AD's a monster. All right. And now the Friday games. I'm only gonna talk about the Grizzlies Trailblazers game and the Celtics Bucks game. My pick for the Grizzlies Trailblazers game, I'm gonna go with the Trailblazers. You have Nurkic finally back healthy. They finally have a 7-footer. They haven't had a 7-footer all year. So they finally got Nurkic back. CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard. They're back. They're playing for that 8 seed. I think, and also my prediction is for the 8 seed, I think the Grizzlies are not going to get the 8 seed. To me, the 8 seed is going to be either the Trailblazers or the Pelicans. That's my pick for the 8 seed. It's going to be one of those two teams. So I'm going with the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers are just more talented, and I think Nurkic is back. He has something to prove. You know, he's been injured for like almost a year. He's finally back. He says he's healthy. He's ready to play. So we'll see how it goes. I think the Trailblazers win this game. Also, do not sleep on Ja Morant, though. Ja Morant might have a big-ass game and just sneak one out, but I'm still going with the Trailblazers.
How do you feel about Damian Lillard's defense?
Damian Lillard's defense is still dog shit. No offense.
Does he play defense better than he raps?
Dude, fuck. That's a good question. I think he's a better rapper than defender. Okay. And who's your pick for this game, Dr. Gabe?
I'm gonna have to say Portland, just because they have more experience. They're
they're more talented. Also,
well, they are more talented, and they've always been trying to fight to get into the playoffs, and they always fall short.
Well,
I mean, they fall short in terms of advancing in the playoffs.
Yeah, advancing in the playoffs. Yeah. But so we're both picking the Trailblazers. Hopefully, we're not wrong. How about the Celtics Bucks game? I'm gonna let you go first because I'm gonna have a lot to say about this one.
I mean, I know as a Laker fan, it hurts me to say. I see a lot of. I just see the Celtics as being a good team and advancing far. I mean, Bucks are great though. But for
this game, who are you picking?
I think there are going to be a lot of pressure on the Bucks. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking down on the Celtics because they're young. So, I assume I like to say the Celtics would win.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
My boy Keto disagrees.
Well, me, to be honest, I watched the Celtics play in the scrimmage game, and the Celtics did not look very hot to me. But also, Kemba did not play that game. And Kemba is a big difference maker. We all know that. Guy's good, 20-point scorer. They just look better with Kemba on the floor. Everybody knows this. I feel I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The reason I'm gonna go with the Bucks is just even though the C's have not played the Bucks with Jaylen Brown once, this is the first time JB's gonna play against Giannis, and we all know what JB does against Giannis. He stays dunking on that man. He don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I didn't like how the C's looked in that scrimmage game. Even though I hope the C's win, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The Bucks look good. The Greek Freak looked fucking great. He looked like a fucking monster.
And you love Eric Bledsoe.
Fuck Eric Bledsoe. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The Greek Freak was just looking disgusting, dude. And I've been hearing a lot of talk that Chris Middleton looks very good. And also, Chris Middleton always pops off against the C's. So I'm looking for a big game from the Greek Freak and Middleton. But if the C's win, the C's are gonna win. Just solely off the fact of their good defense. And I have a feeling that if Tatum has a monster game, and we can have JB average 18, Gordon 18, Kemba 18, easy W for the C's. But I'm still going to go Bucks. I think the Bucks got this one. They just looked overall better. So yeah, those are our predictions for the opening the opening games. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID, since I got a doctor on the pod, might as well school some of you fools on that, because I know some of you dudes still think that shit's fake. Damn, the dog over here fucking up my boy's office, though. It's all good, though. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about COVID, because I'm a little upset with, like, a lot of people, They're not taking it serious. Like, I feel like if we would have just been social distancing, wearing our masks, we wouldn't be on lockdown again. We'd be able to go to the bar, like a lot of you are being complaining about going to the bar. Obviously we ain't trying to go to the club right now. If you want to go to the club, you're just fucking stupid. Like, or you want to go to a music festival, you're a fucking jackass. You literally want to die. In other words, like, I'm just gonna say, it's cool going to the bar, maybe outside or whatever. That's fine. But like, let's talk about like obviously, my question to you is, you have a medical background, Dr. Gabe. Like, do you think the mask works?
If you think about how the disease works, I mean, it's droplets. So that's spit, anything coming out of your nose, your mouth.
Okay.
So even if you think about it just from like just a regular standpoint of like a filter, I mean, you put a filter, like you think of it as your dryer. The dryer's blowing, all the lint gets caught up in that filter. Think of it that way. Like if that filter's not there, all that shit gets put in the dryer exhaust.
Okay.
So even if it stops it a little bit, it's better than nothing. So, whether you believe in it or not, I mean, it's more of just it's all we have right now.
Okay. So,
nobody's taking your freedom away. They're not saying like you can't, live your life. I mean, obviously they're saying try to social distance. It's nowhere in the Constitution says that we can't have a mask on. It's really, if we could just do this for now, hopefully we can get this thing under control. If, the government was a little more open about it and clear, I think that would be helpful because then you wouldn't have as much confusion. Mm-hmm. But now things are starting to settle and everybody's kind of clear, like at least just wear your mask. And again, COVID is real. I've worked in the hospital. There's COVID units. These people are sick. And again, most people, the problem is you're not seeing people dying in the street. Because then everybody would be on board.
Oh, definitely.
The problem is a lot of people get it and they get like a cold or a bad flu. And I mean, it's not the end of the world for most people, but the people that do get really sick, it is the end of the world for them. And that's who you're thinking about. And again, most of the people complaining are the people that it hasn't really affected them directly. So it's easy to say stuff and, it's easy to think it's fake, but it shouldn't be a political issue. It should just be kind of like a common sense thing. Like, and again, had they test for the flu the way they do the COVID right now, you'd probably see similar rates.
Okay.
Except, and people do die of the flu too, and that's the problem. But that, at least there's a way to kind of slow down the spread of the flu every year with the vaccine. So, we don't have that yet. And until then, that's, it's kind of where we're at. So that's the reason. And really, they've never dealt with anything like this since 1912. So part of the problem is the government and everybody just is freaking out and they don't know what to do. But now they're starting to try to figure it out. But it is understandable why people would be upset because of the economic impact. And again, it's important to understand, like, we need to get back to work. We need to get the economy going, because if not, a lot of people are going to die of other things like, suicide, overdosing, stress. Those things are a big issue too, and I think if we can try to slow it down as much as we can by wearing masks and social distance and trying to do all that stuff, hopefully we can get it under control as fast as we can. But it's just weird times, and nobody that's alive right now has experienced this. People that experienced last time are usually in their 90s or, they're almost dead. So to them, they don't remember this because they were probably kids when the last time we had a pandemic like this that was this severe.
Good. I like that dryer comparison.
Yeah,
that was great. So yeah, basically, it's real. Like, at this point, you need to stop. Just, if you're not wearing a mask, you just a shitty person. Like, you literally don't care about anybody but yourself at this point. Especially if you're like in your early 20s, 30, you're just a dick. Like, at this point, if you're not, and then just put it to you this way: like, would you want to give COVID to one of your parents or your grandmother? Just let me put it to you in those terms. Like, I would feel shitty, because most likely, like, if you're my age, like a 65-year-old mother, I can kill her. I can kill my grandmother. Like, if she was still alive, like, I don't know. It's at this point, it's like, just do it. Even if, like, I don't understand, like, this whole political shit. I don't know where this whole oh, it's against my freedom. It's blah, blah, blah. I don't know where all that's coming from. To me, that is just like you being a big crybaby about not wearing a mask just because you're inconvenienced. That's how I feel about that. It's just you being a big baby of you not wanting to do something. Because to be honest, let's be real, it ain't about us. It's about everybody else. Like, in my case, I do it because I don't want to get anybody that I love sick. And also, I don't want to get sick. But, you know, some of you guys are weird and they're spinning this whole political agenda shit. And it has nothing to do with politics. So let's stop doing that whole politics bullshit. This, my politics, my freedom.
And again, even if you do get it, 99% of you are going to be fine. You know, and I think that's the problem is people are not, the people that you know are getting it, the ones that are young, like, they're fine. And if people were dying on the street, it would be, mass panic. But right now, it's more of an inconvenience because the most people getting sick and dying are, like, older people. And unfortunately, society kind of says, oh, well, they're not working, they're not doing anything. So we kind of push them to the side, unfortunately.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, this seems like a good spot to end the pod. Thank you for coming on again, Dr. Gabe.
No problem. My pleasure.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to do a pod next week. If not next week, the following week. Also, wear your masks. Take care. Have fun with your families indoors. Social distance. Also, big shout out to my boy Pools by Chris. And my boy Gus.
Loans by Gus. Our new sponsor.
Our new sponsor, Loans by Gus. If you need a refinance, if you need a loan, go to Gus. If you need a pat me down, you gotta go somewhere else for that. Not Gus. But if you need a loan, refinance, Gus. If anybody wants that plug from my boy Gus, let me know. My boy doing big things in the realty world.
And your boy Chris doing big things
in the pool world. Let's go, baby. All right, boys. Take care.